Our Mighty M hard surface cleaning slash carpet cleaning machine. It's comparable to a truck mount, as in the suction, it's only on 25 feet of hose, whereas a truck mount is more, and I could get into a lot of details about that. But the suction on it is comparable to a truck mount in a portable machine. It's fairly heavy. It holds roughly 15 gallons of clean water, and it has a 15-gallon holding capacity for dirty water.
Okay.
The big thing with this, as you plug it in, you come around, you see the two cords. The two cords actually have to be on separate circuits. So the nice thing is it's got a noise that it makes when you plug it into two separate circuits. And it also has a light on the front that will shine if something would happen to that. So both of those things have to be on or you will blow the breaker pretty much instantly after you turn it on.
Okay.
The other thing that we have with this, they look like church socks, black socks. They're actually filters that go into the intake. It actually gets run in there and then comes around here. It catches any of the sediment that we're pulling out of the carpet so that it doesn't get into the machine. Also, when you turn this on, to crank it on, it's going to be very hard to see. There's a shroud that's supposed to be pointing down. So if you crank this too tight, it actually will turn this, and you'll turn that shroud up like this. When you start turning the shroud up, in here there's a little ball that's a float ball that shuts off the vacuum from sucking any water into the vacuum, and you know that it's full. If you turn it up like that, that ball doesn't come up, and you're shooting it in there, the vacuum is sucking it through, there is an excess on the bottom that will leak the water out. So you'll know that if something starts leaking out of the bottom, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the shroud is turned up and blowing straight into there. So that's one thing that you want to make sure every time you use it, you check.
Okay. Describe transporting this.
Transporting this is done in our van.
Okay.
It doesn't fit inside any of the back of our trucks. So if you're ever going to use this, it has to be done in a van. It's got wheels on the front and the back. You can tip it like this to go up and down steps. It does take, you can do it by yourself, it's tough. And you got to be careful with it going down steps, even loading it and unloading it.
Okay. Describe unloading it. Say you're done with the job at night. Would you leave it in the van, or would you take it out?
Take it out of the van every single night and clean it out. Every single piece of equipment we have needs to be out of the vehicles and put away clean and free of debris. Everything that we're going to go through in our separate videos of how to clean a machine. And we'll go through that then on the details of every different machine that we have.
Okay.
So the clean water goes in here. Pretty simple. Excess dirty water goes in here. There is, on the front, you have 4 switches. You have vacuum 1, vacuum 2, pump, and pump out. Pump out you will only use if you have actual hoses on the backside pumping this out. So you'll never have to turn that one on. The pump actually turns on the pump that goes to your wand or hard surface head that it injects the water. As you do carpet, you don't want to go over 400 psi. This machine can fluctuate between, pretty much takes 200 to force anything out the end of those jets. But you're right around between 200 and 400. You don't have to exactly put it at somewhere in there. That's about the basic between the 200 400 psi. It does go up to the 1200, and how you adjust it is this knob right here. Turning it right turns it up, turning it left turns it back down. Always test before you use it. And the only way to test it is to pull the trigger while it's running, and then it'll go back down to what it's supposed to be. But if it sits empty and it's been drained completely, it's got to be turned on and water forced through before you can tell how much pressure is on there. So, rule of thumb, if you're doing hard surfaces, crank it all the way to the right. If you're doing carpet, crank it quite a ways to the left, and then take it, and I can show you how to test it. You can actually take it, and after a pre-sprayed room, you turn on the pump, hold it up off the ground, and just click the trigger, and then it'll show up at just under 400. And then it will drop down that little bit once you shut it off, but it'll go up to wherever it is at that. And you want to be very careful of that because 1200 psi, you'll become Zorro in the carpet and you'll have to replace it. So be very, very careful on shooting that through. So, and plus the tips on this aren't rated for 1200 psi. Okay, this is a carpet extracting wand. A little bit different, more handheld than any of the other machines. Okay, carpet cleaning wand. Again, just like any of the other ones that we talked about, you always want to check. Make sure that this is free of debris. And then you can look in and see the nozzles and see that there's nothing clogging them or fraying or sticking out of them because these will screw off and you can clean them out. Also, when you're putting in clean water in there, it's very important that it is clean water. You're not using a dirty bucket with a bunch of sand in the bottom of it because as you dump that in there, it'll go through the cycle and clog these up. So after you're done checking all of that, very simple thing to operate. There's a trigger here that releases the water. As soon as you stop, it stops the water flow. For carpet extracting, you turn pump or vacuum 1 on, vacuum 2 on,